popcorn that I'm going to have as my... Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Nikki, and today's video I'm going to be doing another full day of only eating 0 point foods challenge. I have a lot of fun doing these. It's fun to come up with meals that use only 0 point foods. Honestly, not something I could sustain every day, but for these challenges, it is a lot of fun to see what I can put together and really take advantage of some veggies, high proteins, fruits, stuff like that. If you don't follow WeightWatchers, that's what 0 point foods include. They are a little different if you're on the diabetic plan, or also I've heard that the menopause plan is a little bit different, and potatoes and oats are no longer zero on those plans. But for me currently, I get lean meats, fruits, vegetables, oats, potatoes, and things like that. And so those are the things that I'll be incorporating for all of my meals today. If you guys enjoy this video or find it helpful, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Also, I haven't mentioned there is a new option on YouTube that they're testing out where there is a hype button. So if you guys enjoy this video and you want to hype my video up, it does help to just give it more reach. So I always appreciate that. If you guys see that little option, I honestly haven't even seen it pop up while I'm watching videos, but it's something they're testing out and I just wanted to mention it. So anyway, we're gonna get started. I am going to actually have a banana before the gym, which is 0 points. I'm just gonna track everything in MyFitnessPal today because I feel like it's a little bit more accurate with a lot of the 0 point foods, and I do wanna keep track of calories and macros and share those at the end. I'm going to have this banana before I head to the gym. I'm just doing a quick upper body workout. I will probably run to the store right after because there's a couple ingredients I need for today. And then I've got a pretty busy day of cookie orders actually. I've got another large wedding order that I'm working on. This month has been filled with way more orders than I expected that are bigger than I expected, and it's felt like another wedding every single weekend. So that's my plan for today. I also have a video to get posted on YouTube, but I'm just going to be trying to stay on track, get these 0 point meals in, and I'll be sharing them as I go. I'm gonna go ahead and head to the gym. Every single morning is honestly a struggle for me to wake up. I've never been a morning person, but before I head to the gym every single day, I get some cuddles in with the doggos, and it definitely helps me to get just a little bit of motivation. And I've mentioned it before, but I definitely prefer lower body days at the gym, so it's even harder for me to get motivated for upper body. But today I did a chest and shoulder focused workout, and it actually felt pretty good. I did some flies, different shoulder presses, and bench press, and then I headed next door to Fresh Thyme. Okay, I just finished up my upper body workout and I'm actually heading next door to go into Fresh Thyme to grab a couple produce items. So I've got my bag. Hopefully I only need one, but I'm gonna go ahead and grab that and then head home and make some breakfast. I've never done a full grocery trip at Fresh Thyme because it is a little bit more on the pricey side, but it is always so nice when I need to just grab 1 or 2 things. A lot of the time I just run in there to grab some different produce items. They really do have a lot of nice healthy options, so it is a place that I like to go to find different snack review stuff. But today I was just grabbing the different veggies I needed and of course some popcorn. Okay, I'm back home from the gym and the store, and now I'm going to make myself some breakfast. I did think ahead a little bit yesterday and start to prep these steel cut oats. I've had them before and I actually really prefer them over regular like old-fashioned oats, but they've still been a little bit on the chewy side, so I've been testing out some different ways to make them. I just soaked these in some water with a tablespoon of plain non-fat Greek yogurt, which is also 0 points. The steel cut oats I use are also 0, so this is the brand I got, and I just did a half cup in here and I pretty much filled it with water to about here and I let it sit overnight in the fridge. I'm going to strain and rinse these off and then put them on the stove with, I think it said like about 3 cups of water. I need to double check, but I'm gonna just continue cooking that. It should take like 10 to 15 minutes, but that'll be part of my breakfast. I'm going to mix some cinnamon in there as well, and then usually I add like brown sugar to my oatmeal, but that's not 0 points. Today I'm just gonna use a splash of this Torani 0 sugar caramel syrup, so hopefully that'll add some sweetness, but I don't think it'll need too much because I did get some fresh raspberries and we had some blueberries, and I'm gonna top the oatmeal with that and mix it in, and that'll add some sweetness to it as well, all for 0 points. I do need to get a little bit more protein in though, so I am gonna make some scrambled eggs on the side. I'm just gonna do 3 eggs for 0 points. I did get some spinach to mix in with that, so I'll do a good amount of spinach with the eggs. And then I got mushrooms for what I'm making for dinner, but I'm also going to use some in my eggs too. That'll help me to get a little bit more protein. I was also going to add about 2 ounces of turkey turkey lunch meat, which is 0 points, and that'll help to add just a little bit more protein to the eggs. And that'll make this meal about 511 calories and 38 grams of protein. This will be a nice filling breakfast. I can't make my protein coffee because it's not 0 points, so I did grab one of these Celsius energy drinks. This I think is like 200 milligrams of caffeine, but I'm just going to have this because I've got a lot to get done today and I could use some caffeine. But this is just the sparkling frozen berry edition. I'll see how this is, but I'm gonna go ahead and make some breakfast. I did end up pouring some of the water out, but it seemed like the Greek yogurt was still pretty mixed in with the oats that I had put in the night before. And unless I'm making a big potato scramble egg thing for breakfast, I like to just make the vegetables and cook them first, and then I put them aside and cook the eggs separately. I find that then the eggs just get so much fluffier. So the spinach and mushrooms only took a few minutes to cook on the stove, and then I just put them aside on the plate that I'm going to be putting my eggs on later, and then I wipe out the pan, cook the eggs in it, and then I add the veggies back in. And to make the steel-cut oats on the stove, you definitely have to stir them pretty frequently because they will start to stick to the bottom. I've had some people say that they make large batches of their steel-cut oats in a crock pot, or even I want to say like an Instant Pot. So I think I might try that next time, but it really isn't too difficult to make them on the stove. Like I said, you just have to make sure you stir them a lot. I usually really like the brand Skinny Syrups, but lately I've been using this Torani syrup and I actually like it even more. I found that the flavor isn't as much of like an artificial sugar taste, but either way, those are both good options, and for this 0 point video, they worked out. I topped the eggs with a drizzle of sriracha and realized I forgot the turkey, so I added that on as well, and then that was my breakfast for 0 points. Okay, here's my finished breakfast. I almost forgot to add the turkey to the eggs, but all of this is 0 points. I topped it with some sriracha, and then I've got my oats, which I'm excited to try. Usually I eat the salty first and then the sweet, but let me try this really quick. It honestly smelled so good. It kind of smelled like a candle because it had like the caramel cinnamon smell to it, but let's see. Okay, so I topped it with the fresh raspberries and blueberries. Let's give it a try. Okay, the oats are cooked perfectly this time, and they're actually really sweet with the caramel syrup. I love a lot of cinnamon in my oatmeal, so I did put a good amount, but these are really good. I honestly can't believe they're 0 points, and now I'm excited to eat these. I'm gonna have my eggs and then oats, and I actually have a leftover portion because I made a half a cup dry, and usually it's a 1/4 cup for the serving, so I've got a whole nother portion here that I can save for breakfast tomorrow. Okay, I actually had to just film a quick YouTube video. I got that done, and now I am about to roll cookies. I've got a big wedding order and then another first birthday order that I'm doing this week. I've got about 150-ish cookies that I have to roll for that. I'm about to get started, but first I was going to try this energy drink that I got from Fresh Thyme. So it's a Celsius, 10 calories, 0 points on WeightWatchers, and the flavor is sparkling frozen berry. Oh no, why is it exploding? Okay, it just went to the top. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this a try. Oh, that's better than I expected, actually. I'm gonna sip on this. It tastes kind of like blueberry. It's really good. I'm gonna sip on this and get the cookies rolled. Then I have a video to finish editing to post on YouTube today. And then I've gotta baste the cookies, but I think I'll save that for after dinner. So I'll be back with lunch. I'm making, I think, lettuce taco wraps or ground chicken. You guys will see when I get there, but I'm gonna go ahead and roll. I think I've mentioned this in past videos, but rolling the cookies is definitely my least favorite part of the orders. There's pretty much 3 steps. There's baking the cookies, basting them, and then detailing. Detailing is always my favorite because that's when I get to be creative, and basting is almost just therapeutic. I just sit there and baste the cookies. Usually I'll put on a podcast or something, and it's almost just more relaxing. But when it comes to baking them, I really just try to do it as fast as I can, and after years of doing this, I really have a system down that works for me. So I got the order rolled and then started making some air popped popcorn. And this little air popper machine is my favorite way to make it. I've tried a couple different options, even like the little microwave ones that you can put in and just add the seeds to it, but this way is just the quickest and easiest, and I just love this little machine. I think I got it off Amazon. I can link it in the description. Okay, it is lunchtime. I already went ahead and made some air pop popcorn. I was finishing up baking the trays for my cookie orders, and so I got this popped in that time. This is 0 points on WeightWatchers, and I'm just gonna have it on the side with my lettuce wraps that I'm making. I already started cooking up some ground chicken, so I just got the big 3-pound container from Sam's Club, and I'm just making it all right now and keeping the rest in the fridge. I'm not adding any seasoning to the entire batch, but when I take it out to use it for a different meal, I can just add the seasoning then. Today I'm going to add a little bit of this honey garlic seasoning to it and some garlic butter. And then I am also going to make some shrimp on the side, which is 0 points. I just want to add some extra protein. I'm gonna cook up some vegetables that will go in the wraps as well. So I just got big romaine leaves, and that'll be the shell of these wraps. Then I'm gonna cook up some carrot chips with some red bell pepper. And I also got some green onions to add. I don't know if I'll add this when I'm cooking or use it as like a garnish on top. I am gonna mix in some garlic with the ground chicken when I mix the separate portion that I'm gonna be using for today. I also wanted to do some type of sauce on this, and usually the best 0 point sauces are with a base of this non-fat plain Greek yogurt. So I was going to mix it with some of this chili sriracha and then also some soy sauce, which I'm also gonna cook the chicken in a little bit of soy sauce with the seasoning to add some extra flavor. Going for a little bit of an Asian flavor with this. Everything's 0 points. I'm gonna go ahead and assemble it, and then I'll share the calories and macros for it at the end. I always joke that I won't eat a burger without a bun and I won't eat tacos without tortillas, but when I was thinking about this video and planning it out, for some reason I was really craving lettuce wraps, and I thought that this would be such a great lunch. My mom and I always used to get this appetizer at a place called Houlihan's, and it was lettuce wraps. They were so good, so that was kind of my inspiration for this today. And I definitely was craving more of like an Asian soy garlic with this, so that's why I added the soy sauce and sriracha into the sauce that I drizzled onto them. I ended up making the sauce a little bit runnier than I planned, but it actually was perfect on the lettuce wraps. It really does make a difference to have different seasonings to flavor things with, so using the different buttery garlic seasoning and honey garlic really gives so much flavor and allows me to use the same vegetables and proteins but switch up meals so much. The shrimp I had in the freezer was already pre-cooked, so I just needed to heat it up for a couple minutes. Once the ground chicken was fully cooked, I just pushed it to the side and added the shrimp in. It was a little icy, so I didn't really have to add anything. It kind of worked out when I added the seasoning that it almost made like a little sauce on it, and it was so delicious. The honey garlic is my favorite to use with shrimp and any other seafood, honestly. I did try to let the veggies cool for just a few minutes, but they were still warm when I added them to the wrap. It actually worked totally fine though. The lettuce really held up. And I realized the portion of chicken was way more than I expected, and the veggies actually, so I just ended up putting those in a separate bowl that I will have on the side. But I drizzled a good amount of sauce onto each wrap, and that was it. Okay, I am so excited about this lunch right now. I've got my lettuce wraps here. I made 3 of them, and I just put the pepper and carrot mix, then some ground chicken. I split up the shrimp, added the green onion that I chopped up, and then I drizzled the sauce that I made on top. So 0 points for this. I'm excited. And there was actually some leftover ground chicken and veggies from what I just made. So I just put it in a bowl with the rest of the sauce, and I'm gonna have that as well if I'm still hungry. If not, I'll just wrap this up, but I think I'll still be hungry for this. This is such a good amount of food though, especially because I already tracked this popcorn, which I may wait and have this in an hour, or I'll just have it with it, we'll see. But either way, 0 points on Weight Watchers. Helps me to get a little bit more fiber in. And I'm just gonna eat the lettuce wraps over this bowl, so whatever falls in here will be what I have at the end. But anyway, 0 points for all of that. For the calories and macros, this comes out to about 506 calories, and it's got 56 grams of protein. It's 15 grams of fat and 40 carbs. So that does include the popcorn, like I said, and that's if I have 4 cups of it. But that's gonna be my lunch. I'm gonna eat this, work on some stuff on my computer, and then probably be back for dinner. Okay, let's see. I actually ended up just standing in the kitchen and devouring one of the wraps. It was so good, even better than I expected. But after that, I finished up some details on a different cookie order, as well as packaging up these desserts for a Beauty and the Beast wedding order that I had. And somehow it was already time for dinner. And for dinner tonight, I was planning on doing mashed potatoes with burgers. Kind of similar to the KFC bowl, but I just wanted to make a base of mashed potatoes, have some grilled mushrooms and onions, and then burger patties that I chopped up with pickles, and that was just really what I was craving for dinner. I like to cook the onions and mushrooms on just a medium-low heat for pretty much the entire time. I find that it just brings out the most flavor that way and gets them perfectly sautéed. To cook the potatoes, I just put them in a big pot of water, and then you bring that pot to a boil and let them continue to cook until they are soft. I usually just use a fork to test them. And while those were cooking, I got the burger meat ready. So this is 0 points on WeightWatchers. It's just from Costco, and I decided to make a bigger batch of it so I could have some leftovers. I just mix the ground beef with my hands, I add some seasoning to it, and then I use my food scale to weigh out equal burger portions. I really love my griddle to cook burgers like this, so I just spray it with some nonstick butter spray, and then I flatten them out and let them cook evenly on each side. And it really doesn't take too long to make these, so while I was cooking these, the potatoes also finished up, and I just strained them in the sink. I use my KitchenAid mixer to get them perfectly mashed. I feel like it helps to just whip them up a little bit too, especially when I'm not adding a bunch of like butter or cream or anything. But I added the chicken bone broth, and then I didn't measure it out, but I added a nice scoop of plain non-fat Greek yogurt, and then the different seasonings that I wanted to add. So I put a good amount of onion salt, some of that garlic butter seasoning from Kinder's, and then some salt and pepper. And I just kept that going in the KitchenAid mixer until it was nice and smooth. I prefer my mashed potatoes with some chunks in it, and honestly I like the skin on the potatoes, so you could peel them if you'd like, but I like to just leave it on. I also really wanted some tomatoes in this bowl, so I just had these grape tomatoes that I sliced in half. And then it was time to assemble the bowls, so I just divided the potatoes. I actually got an extra leftover serving out of this batch, and then enough for me and Adam to each make a bowl. Of course, I wanted to add some pickles, and Grillos are my favorite, so I chopped up a good amount of those pickle chips, and then I've got 2 burger patties that I also diced up. Usually I would add some type of cheese, but honestly when I ate this, it really didn't need it. The creaminess of the potatoes was perfect, especially with a little drizzle of this mustard. It added the perfect amount of flavor. Okay, this is my 3rd attempt of doing the full day of eating 0 point foods, and I have to say, I think this day has been the best out of the 3 I've done so far. For dinner tonight, I've got this giant burger bowl. I have a base of mashed potatoes, and usually I add in milk and Laughing Cow, but I had to find 0 point options to mix in. So I just did a splash of bone broth. You can have, I think, up to a half cup for 0 points. I put that in there with a scoop of non-fat plain Greek yogurt. I've used that in every meal today, but it's a nice, helpful option to make things creamier or make sauces. So it did really help the potatoes. I added a good amount of the garlic butter seasoning, salt and pepper, and I tried them and they're really good. So that's my base. It's 0 points on WeightWatchers. Then I sauteed up a good amount of mushrooms and onion, and I've got a good portion of it here. That's like my favorite thing ever, especially with burgers. 0 points. I've got grape tomatoes for 0 points. Then the burgers, which I want to make sure I track the right amount. This is about 5 ounces. Then for the ground beef or the burgers that I made, I used a serving that is about 311 calories. It's about 5.25 ounces. I've got pickles for 0 points, and then I drizzled my favorite spicy mustard, just a small serving of it. A teaspoon is 0 points, and usually I don't use much more because it is pretty spicy, but this bowl comes out to 0 points. It's 600 calories. It's got 52 grams of protein, so very high protein, especially because of the ground beef. And then it's got 14 grams of fat and 65 carbs. So I'm gonna eat this for dinner. I've got my Honeycrisp apple after for 0, and then I will still probably make a dessert, but I'll see how I'm feeling after this. I wanted to show the end result of the cookies that I was working on. So this was for a wedding order, like I mentioned, and the theme was Beauty and the Beast. I had a lot of fun doing this one. Okay, I feel like making something for dessert, so I've already started preheating the oven, and I'm going to make a little bit of like an oat bake. I've got a banana, so I'm just gonna mash this up and mix it with this Mott's no sugar added applesauce, which is 0 points on WeightWatchers. I'm going to mix in an egg with that, and then I think I'll do like a quarter cup maybe of this Greek yogurt. I'm hoping this all works together and it's not too like spongy, but we'll see. I am going to add a half cup of quick oats, also 0 points on Weight Watchers. And then I've got a couple other things, so just a splash of vanilla, some cinnamon. I'm also going to use a little bit of this Flavor God chocolate donut topper. You can use a teaspoon for 0 points. And then I might add a splash of this caramel. So caramel, cinnamon, chocolate, we'll see how it goes. I think it'll be good together. I like that combination and I am hungry for something sweet. I'm gonna mix it all together and put it in this glass baking dish that I use usually for like pizza bakes and stuff. I'll pop it in the oven that I have preheating to 350 and I'm guessing it'll take maybe like 20 minutes. It'll be similar to baked oats hopefully, but we'll see how it goes. It's 0 points for everything, so I'm gonna go ahead and combine it and get it in the oven. And then I've gotta finish up some cookies for the night, but I might get started on that while this is baking. So let me get this started. I realized when I started making this that it was the second banana I had today. I forgot I had one before the gym, but it's all good. It worked out for this video today. I added some applesauce to it, which is 0 points, some more of that Greek yogurt that I've used for every meal today, an egg, and then I almost forgot to add in the vanilla, but I added a splash of that and then whisked this together. I haven't really used the chocolate donut Flavor God topper that often, so it was nice to find something to use it for, but honestly, I don't think I tasted it that much in the end product. I don't know if it's because I baked it and if it would just work better mixed with like yogurt and stuff like that, but either way, this turned out really good. It had such great flavor with the cinnamon. It was the perfect amount of sweetness because of the applesauce and the banana, and then the drizzle on top was just a little extra. Okay, I've just been working on the cookie order while this has been baking in the oven. It's still hot. I did decide to do a drizzle. I put it on the plate and it looked kind of sad, so I wanted to do something on top of it. I just used a little bit of chobani and I mixed it with just a splash of the syrup that I used earlier, the sugar-free caramel, and then a little bit of cinnamon. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a try. This entire thing is 0 points on Weight Watchers, so it really is a great size. It kind of looks like a giant toaster strudel, but that's not what it is. It smells like apple cinnamon oatmeal right now. Let's go ahead and cut into it, which I feel like it really is just gonna taste like baked oats. This is what it looks like. So I was able to just pop it out of the glass baking dish. Let me give it a try. How is it 0 points? Honestly, the drizzle is good, but it doesn't even need it. This is so good right now. I could definitely have this for breakfast too. It tastes like apple from the applesauce, but with chopped up apples in this. I'm definitely gonna be making this again already next week. I need to stop eating it, but I'm about to sit down and eat this to end the night. It would also be really good with chocolate chips, and technically I still have 24 points left, but just kidding. I ended the day with 0 out of 24 used in Weight Watchers. I did track everything in MyFitnessPal though today just to see where I'm at for calories and macros. For calories today, I had about 2,167. I had 53 grams of fat, 272 carbs, 159 grams of protein, and 44 grams of fiber. So honestly, a really good day for my macros. It was a little bit higher for calories, but not much. It's pretty normal for me. But 159 for protein is really good. And it really helped to have some different lean meats to be able to use. Carbs 272, fiber was 44, which I figured I would hit my fiber with the amount of veggies that I was able to incorporate. Yeah, it's been a really fun, good day of eating. I really do enjoy these videos. I feel like it's just gotten me more creative in the kitchen and I honestly could do more of them. So if you guys like seeing these, let me know, or let me know if there's any other specific recipes you'd like to see from me. I love doing bowls. I know I share those the most, but it's honestly what I eat the most. So if there's something else you want to see, let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Hype it up if you have the option. I appreciate that as well. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.